Native American horses were never just a way to get around. They were the spirit of the tribes, witnesses to both tragedy and triumph in American history. From striking coat patterns to raw endurance, and even the wild herds running the coastline, each carries a story of survival, loss, and revival. In all Native American horse breeds, then and now with modern breeders, we'll uncover it all, from the past to the present, where tradition meets the fight to preserve a living legacy. Number 1. Appaloosa horse. The Appaloosa is one of America's most iconic equine legacies, forever tied to the Nez Perce tribe of the Northwest. By the late 18th century, the Nez Perce were renowned for their strict breeding practices, keeping only the fastest, toughest horses with the most striking spotted coats, shaping a powerful and distinctive lineage. After the 1877 Nez Perce War, thousands of Appaloosas were seized or slaughtered, pushing the breed to the edge of extinction. But in 1938, the Appaloosa Horse Club was founded, sparking a remarkable comeback. Today, more than 700,000 are registered worldwide, standing 14.2 to 16 hands high, 58 to 64 inches, and weighing around 950 to 1,250 pounds. The Appaloosa captivates with its dazzling coat patterns, noticeable white sclera, sharp intelligence, and loyal nature. Once known as buffalo runners in hunts and battles, these horses now shine across modern arenas, from trail riding to eventing. And here's the twist. The story doesn't end there. The descendants of the Nez Perce launched a groundbreaking breeding program, writing the next chapter in this living Native American legacy. Number 2. Nez Perce horse. The Nez Perce horse was born out of a unique project launched in 1995 by the descendants of the Nez Perce tribe, with support from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. After more than a century without their traditional Appaloosa herds, the tribe set out to restore the powerful bond between horse and people that once defined their cultural identity. To achieve this, breeders crossed old-type Appaloosas with the Akal Teki, a legendary horse from Central Asia known for its sleek frame, stamina, and long-distance movement. The result was a new breed that preserved the Appaloosa's spotted patterns while gaining the tall build, long neck, and graceful stride of the Akal Teki. Nez Perce horses typically stand 15 to 16 hands high, 60 to 64 inches, and weigh around 1,000 to 1,200 pounds. They are intelligent, powerful, and exceptionally durable. Today, they're bred mainly for endurance and trail riding, as well as cultural education programs that teach younger generations of Nez Perce about their heritage and the deep connection to horses. Just as the Appaloosa once made its miraculous comeback from the edge of extinction, the Nez Perce horse stands as a living symbol of tradition blended with innovation. But the story of America's native horses doesn't end in the Northwest. Further south, another tribe left behind a breed that became a true symbol of an entire region. Number 3. Choctaw horse. The Choctaw horse is one of the oldest surviving lines of colonial Spanish horses, directly tied to the Choctaw people of the American Southeast. Since the 18th century, the Choctaw carefully bred and preserved these small but tough horses, descended from Spanish stock that came through Mexico and Florida, using them for transport, hunting, and trade. By the 19th century, when the tribe was forced from their homeland during the Trail of Tears, most of these horses were scattered, crossbred, or destroyed, pushing the breed to the brink of extinction. Today, the Livestock Conservancy lists the Choctaw horse as critical, with only a few hundred surviving, kept alive by dedicated families and breeders. Standing 13.2 to 15 hands high, 54 to 60 inches, and weighing 700 to 900 pounds, the Choctaw horse is compact, sturdy, and sure-footed. Its coats are strikingly diverse: solid, paint, leopard, buckskin, and dun. Gentle, intelligent, and incredibly resilient, they represent an irreplaceable genetic link to the colonial Spanish horse heritage. Beyond their bloodlines, Choctaw horses are living proof of the resilience of the Choctaw people themselves. And just next door, another horse of Spanish descent rose to prominence and would eventually be named the official state symbol of Florida. Number 4. Florida Cracker Horse. The Florida Cracker Horse traces its ancestry to Spanish horses brought to the Florida Peninsula in the 16th century. Over generations, they became inseparable from Florida's cow hunters and the Seminole people. The name Cracker comes from the sharp crack of the whips used by cattlemen to drive their herds, an image forever tied to the cowboys of the American Southeast. By the 20th century, the breed nearly disappeared, replaced by the quarter horse in modern ranching. Only a few families who kept their pure herds intact managed to save the Cracker from extinction. In 2008, it was officially recognized as the state horse of Florida, sealing its place as both a cultural and historical emblem of the state. Standing 13.2 to 15 hands high, 54 to 60 inches, and weighing 700 to 1,000 pounds, the Florida Cracker Horse is compact, quick, and agile. Its coats come in a wide range: gray, bay, dun, buckskin, palomino, and even pinto patterns. Known for their intelligence, stamina, and willingness to work, they thrive in ranch work, trail riding, and conservation programs. Today, the Florida Cracker Horse is a source of pride for Floridians and a living testament to the endurance of old Spanish bloodlines. But Florida isn't the only state with a heritage horse. Just to the north, South Carolina has its own small but resilient breed that has been honored as a state treasure. Number 5. Carolina Marsh Tacky. The Marsh Tacky descends from Spanish horses brought to the southeast coast in the 16th century, surviving for centuries on the barrier islands and marshlands of South Carolina. Over time, they became trusted partners for local people, working the fields, hauling loads, and even serving in the American Revolution. The name Marsh Tacky reflects both the swampy terrain they adapted to and the word tacky, meaning humble and plain. By the 20th century, machines had replaced horsepower, and the Marsh Tacky nearly vanished, with only a few small herds preserved by coastal families. Thanks to community efforts, in 2010, South Carolina officially recognized the Marsh Tacky as the state heritage horse, affirming its historical and cultural importance. Standing 13.2 to 15 hands high, 54 to 60 inches, and weighing 700 to 900 pounds. The Marsh Tacky is sturdy, sure-footed, and reliable on both sand and mud. Their coats range from dun, buckskin, and sorrel to gray, while their temperament is gentle, hardy, and well-suited to the hot, humid climate of the Southeast. Today, Marsh Tackies are bred for conservation, trail riding, and educational programs. And just across the border in North Carolina, another wild island herd has earned its place as a heritage symbol every bit as unique. Number 6. Banker Horse. The Banker Horse traces back to Spanish stock from the 16th century, either shipwrecked or brought to the shores of North Carolina, before turning wild on the barrier islands of the Outer Banks. Over hundreds of years, they adapted to white sand, ocean winds, and scarce forage, becoming a distinctive symbol of this coastal landscape. In earlier times, Banker horses were used by fishermen and coastal families for hauling, transport, and everyday work. But by the 20th century, urban growth and crossbreeding caused their numbers to collapse. Today, they're considered one of the last surviving colonial Spanish horse lines and are listed as critically endangered, standing 13.2 to 14.2 hands high, 53 to 58 inches, and weighing 800 to 1,000 pounds. The Banker is compact and sturdy with sure-footed gaits on sand. Common colors include bay, sorrel, dun, and black. They're gentle, resilient, and remarkably well-suited to harsh coastal conditions. Only a few hundred remain, protected by groups like the Corolla Wild Horse Fund and federal law. They're both a cultural treasure and a popular tourist draw. Yet their story is also a reminder of just how fragile the Spanish horse legacy can be. And out of that realization, a determined conservation movement took shape in the mid-20th century. Number 7. Spanish Mustang. By the mid-20th century, as the last Spanish-descended herds in North America faced extinction, a group of conservationists stepped in. In 1957, they founded the Spanish Mustang Registry, dedicated to preserving the pure bloodlines that survived in wild bands and tribal herds, horses once ridden by native peoples and cowboys for centuries. The Spanish Mustang became the face of this preservation movement, embodying the legacy of the old Indian horses and buffalo runners. Carefully managed breeding ensured genetic integrity while proving their worth in long-distance riding, endurance, and ranch work. Because of this, the Spanish Mustang has held a special place in the American horse world. Typically standing 13.2 to 15 hands high, 54 to 60 inches, and weighing 700 to 1,000 pounds. They are compact, tough, and agile. Their coats come in a wide variety: solid, dun, buckskin, paint, and roan. Intelligent, hardy, and built for distance, they carry the unmistakable spirit of their Spanish ancestors. Today, the Spanish Mustang Registry acts as a living gene bank, safeguarding both the heritage and the history of America's native horses. And far up in North Dakota, another herd was discovered and preserved, ushering in one of the most dramatic conservation stories of the 20th century. Number 8. Nakota horse. The Nakota horse originated from wild herds that roam the Badlands of North Dakota, beginning in the 19th century. They carry traces of old Spanish blood, blended with native horses, and the tough frontier stock of early settlers. For generations, the Nakota served the Lakota people and local ranchers, valued for hunting, herding, and navigating rugged terrain. By the early 20th century, many were captured by the military and ranchers, sold off or crossbred, pushing the breed to near extinction. A few isolated bands survived inside Theodore Roosevelt National Park, and in the 1990s, the Nakota Horse Conservancy was founded to protect and rebuild the breed. Standing 14.2 to 16 hands high, 58 to 64 inches, and weighing 900 to 1,200 pounds. The Nakota is strong, well-balanced, and sure-footed. Blue roan is their signature color, but they can also be black, bay, or occasionally pinto. Intelligent and powerful, they're especially known for their endurance across long distances. Today, the Nakota horse is both a cultural symbol and a rare genetic resource for conservation. But not every native breed was as fortunate. One horse, once celebrated among native communities, has vanished entirely, surviving now only in memory and history. Number 9. Chickasaw horse. The Chickasaw horse was closely tied to the Chickasaw people of the Southeast, beginning in the 17th century. Descended from Spanish horses that came through Mexico and Florida. Small but quick and tough, they were bred for hunting, transport, and as a symbol of status within the community. By the 18th century, the Chickasaw had become the foundation for what would later become the quarter horse. But widespread crossbreeding with imported English horses and the pioneer horses brought by settlers gradually erased the pure Chickasaw line by the 19th century. Today, they survive only in written history and in the bloodlines of the quarter horse, as well as traces found in Choctaw and Florida cracker herds. Typically standing 13 to 14.2 hands high, 52 to 58 inches, and weighing 700 to 900 pounds, the Chickasaw horse was compact, strong, and agile. Intelligent, quick, and remarkably durable, they were perfectly suited to the needs of native communities for travel and warfare. Though extinct, the legacy of the Chickasaw horse lives on in modern breeds and in the cultural memory of native people. It's a reminder that every breed carries its own story, and that preserving the ones we still have is also preserving America's history itself.